All right, and we're back with more Shacknews Game of the Year 2022 deliberations. This one is an extra special award. You're not going to see this award on any other websites because none of them have the chatty community, none of them have Shack battles, but we do, and that's why we have the Shacknews Shack Battle Game of the Year award. Ozzy, do you want to break down just what's going on here for the fine folks? What is a Shack Battle, and who are our nominees?
Our shack battles are a particular game that our community gravitates towards. Chatty can find a game that they get really into, and to that point, they'll set up their own servers. They'll jump on multiplayer, and they'll engage in a weekly shack battle where they all get together and have a giant night in where they just play their favorite game. And the nominees are going to be these games that get set up through our chatty threads. And there aren't a lot of them because when Chatty has her favorites, they stick with them for a long time. But yeah, if you see a game that's set up through our Chatty thread, then it's eligible.
All right. So, with that said, Ozzy, what are our nominations for Shack Battle Game of the Year this year?
Well, we have a couple of them. Battlefield 2042 is still getting a lot of play from a dedicated core of Battlefield players. I know that the game has had its problems, but Fate to Funk has set up the games, and though they've ridden this out. They're riding out the rough patches of this game, and now they're starting to see it get good. So that's definitely eligible. Tom W likes to set up our Wreckfest games every other week, and Wreckfest is one that's definitely been on our list for the past couple of years, and it still has a lot of staying power. And there's also my nominee, which is an old favorite here. It's Team Fortress 2, and underscore John is the one that actually likes to go on on the Chatty's dedicated server. High Res sets up the server, so there's a dedicated Team Fortress 2 game. It happens on occasion. It's not like a regular thing, but it happens on occasion, and it happens on occasion enough that I just love to jump in and just play it because I miss Team Fortress 2. I miss the game at its peak, and that carried me through my 20s, man. So just the fact that I get to jump in, whether it's like the Scream Fortress event or what have you, I'm happy to jump in with the Chatty crew, and definitely love seeing Team Fortress 2 on this list.
I wanted to
Yeah.
talk about Wreckfest a little bit. I just love how like casually fun that game is. Like you can jump into a shack battle, you can come in last place out of like 30 people in Wreckfest and still have fun, which you can't say about most online games these days. It's very competitive, but still very laid back. And I also think there's something to be said about the consistency of it as a shack battle. Trends come and go. Games you love, you eventually get tired of, and you move on. But for Wreckfest to still be going strong, this many years later, I mean, there's a reason that we talk about it every single time we do this award because it's got that lasting power.
Yeah, the Shack Battles, the Wreckfest definitely is kind of a wacky racer sort of situation. Yeah, it's not necessarily about getting the first place as much as it's about the ridiculous shenanigans that happen during the race itself.
For some people, it's about simply running other people off the track and nothing else matters.
Is that you, David?
I just want to see the track burn, Blake. That's it.
You can also
Chatty
do
was
such
onto
a
something with this game. Like we brought it into our big team building at one point.
yeah, and it's so ridiculous the things that you can do with it. Whether you want to do a normal dirt race or a track race, or you want to race school buses through loop the loops, or you want to race couches against ice cream trucks, you can do all that stuff in Wreckfest without too much boundary, and it's just ridiculous.
Wreckfest is good times every time, just about. Yeah, Team Fortress 2 honestly just came back in a big way over the pandemic, I feel, and people started to get back into it.
I'm
Yeah.
happy that Valve has given the keys to the community. Essentially, like they're just like, you know what, we're done with this, but obviously there's still a lot of life in it. You guys are keeping it alive, so you guys keep it alive.
Ozzy, I have to strike this down because of that. Valve's like, we don't need to count to 3. Hooray!
They
But
never
like,
will.
There's something to be said for Team Fortress 2 because as all these other games have come out that are like Team Fortress 2, be it the Overwatches, the Gundam Evolutions, the game, many games that we've talked about in these deliberations.
And they don't have that same staying power.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that a lot of people are like, man, I wish this was more like Team Fortress 2.
There's just some charm about that old Source engine that still holds up.
I mean, it was kind of like, the beginning of the like hero team
Hero shooter.
Yeah.
And I've yet to find a class. I've yet to find a class as fun as a spy.
I want Valve to put out remasters of the Meet the Team videos, but have each character wearing different hats. You got to make it current.
There you go. Well, and then Battlefield 2042, TJ, you were just talking about how that's made a comeback recently.
I mean, God bless the folks that stuck it out and stayed in there because, like, man, they had a lot to deal with when it came to when that game first came out. And to believe in that game and play it so hard shows some serious dedication because it was not a fun time. I definitely didn't have any fun with it. I know, Denny, you and your buds tried to get into it too when it first kicked off and just to no success.
Yeah, it definitely was not a fun experience early on, but seems like better days are ahead. Definitely has had some better experience more recently.
For that reason, I would say that maybe we should return to Battlefield 2042 in this category next year because it seems like good times are ahead for Shack Battles and Battlefield 2042 when it comes to 2023.
There you have it. I don't know. Does anyone else want to say anything about any of these nominations? Should we put it to a vote?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Steve, we'll start with you.
All right, I will go with Wreckfest.
Eating that Wreckfest for breakfast. David.
You stole my low-hanging fruit. Wreckfest. Yeah.
Denny.
Yeah, I'm going with Wreckfest here.
Donovan, you sticking with Wreckfest?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Wreckfest nom. That game is too good.
Greg.
Wreckfest.
TJ.
I love me some Team Fortress 2. And I'm glad that the community still does too. It's such a fun game.
All right. Ozzy.
TF2.
Morgan.
Team Fortress 2.
I'm also voting for Team Fortress 2. Now let's take a look at our absentee votes. Asif and Bill both vote for Wreckfest. And going down to Sam. Sam voted for Team Fortress 2. Well, we have a clear winner here. Unsurprisingly, Shackbattle Game of the Year goes to Wreckfest. That was just the sound of a couple cars crashing in Wreckfest right there. That wasn't the gavel this time. But yeah, congratulations, Wreckfest, once again.